Afternoon, gangsters and ballers. Gav Mack here and Alex Osborn. How are you people at home watching to up top? It's the Game Day 36 preview because there's plenty happening this week. So therefore, you have to see our handsome faces. How are you, Alex?
Very well, thank you very much, sir. How are you?
I'm married. It took me a while to wake up because in that much of a daze of how terrible the game was last night between Chelsea and Norwich. That ended 1-0 to Chelsea. Chelsea are in the driving seat, so they're okay. All they need to do is get a win. But Jesus Christ, at least make it a little bit entertaining.
It's now at the business end of the season where just results matter. So the fact that Man United couldn't capitalise on their defeat over the weekend and Leicester's defeat over the weekend, which we got to give credit to. Steve Cotton said that was going to happen.
He did.
And it always seems to way. It's like as I was speaking to some of the lads that I played cricket with over the weekend, they were saying, how funny is it that none of the relegation sides have won, and then all of a sudden they all win on the same weekend, and it's just like you can't make any ground up there. So Bournemouth and Aston Villa are just thinking, oh, God, we can't catch any break. You know, we win a game, we probably games that we wouldn't expect to win, and then all of a sudden we're only doing it because we're trying to keep the gap the same. And the same applies at the other end of the table. Man United thinking, right, okay, let's capitalise on Chelsea losing. Let's capitalise on Leicester losing. Let's cement our place in the top four. And yeah, they just conceded that last minute. Is it equaliser, isn't it, from a corner?
Yeah, let's get the graphic of that up, because that Chelsea game had nothing, and Giroud scored. Yeah. Wonderful. That is it.
Yeah, Giroud scored a typical Giroud goal, header inside the 6-yard box. He doesn't do that enough for me. He should do it more, considering how good he is in the air. But I always felt like he was a bit of a striker who was he's more on his heels and he's on his toes. Maybe that's just where he was when he was at Arsenal, and now being at Chelsea, it's different. But I want more from Giroud as a striker, which is why I've never been a big fan of him.
Well, I've always loved Giroud, best near post striker in world football. So that's what his game is. He holds the ball up or he'll knob it in at the near post, and that's what he's brilliant at. He doesn't need to be quick. He doesn't need to play off the shoulder. He doesn't have to do that. That's not his game. His game is adapted to the way he plays. So I like Giroud for what he does. I don't feel like he needs to offer more, because he should be in a team that players around him are able to offer a lot more for him. But Man United, they were so Jekyll and Hyde throughout the whole game. Like the first half, I thought, do you know what? I actually thought Southampton were going to score a second goal when they took the lead, because they looked pretty good. The first 15, 20 minutes, they were comfortable. And I thought it was really nice the way that Armstrong finished it. But the issue was Pogba or De Gea. Now, I think it's De Gea's fault, but I know there's a lot of people that are out in Pogba, because De Gea is passing the ball to Pogba on the edge of the box, and he's trying to turn and look around. He hasn't got that much time in the world. But why put him in that situation in the first place?
Well, De Gea, you got to look at it this way, right? De Gea is looking at the play, so he should be able to see what position the Southampton players are in relation to his own players. Pogba has his back turned to play. Okay, so yes, I can understand why people are having a go at Pogba, because if you have your back to play, if you're turning on the edge of your box like that, you are asking for trouble, especially against a team like Southampton, who are coached by Hasenhüttl, who's very much a gegenpress manager. Okay, so you know that in those situations they are going to be pressing you high up the pitch. So Pogba is not entirely blameless in this situation. However, De Gea should take responsibility there, because he's the one, as I say, who's looking at the play, who can see what it should be unfolding, and should realise that pass to Pogba is a more high risk one than what he could have done elsewhere because of what happened there. So I feel like the blame should be sort of between them, but more on De Gea than Pogba.
A little comment there from Lawrence. Thanks for watching, Lawrence. talking about like the little skills that Pogba has, and to be so arrogant in that situation, there has to be a call at least. There has to be a shout at least, saying, man on your shoulder, because then he can look at passing it straight back to De Gea, and then he can spread it out to Lindelof or spread it out to Maguire. But there wasn't any of that. I put the blame on De Gea on that situation, but it was a good finish. But then Rashford, good finish there, and Martial. I loved Martial's goal. Just the sheer brute force and pace, just batting players off him left, right, and centre, and then the finish itself was strong. But you've got to close games out. You're Man United. You should be looking at the higher end of the table. You should be winning those sort of games. I know Southampton's away form has been brilliant this year, and it's what has kept them in the division. But what is Maguire doing with the marking?
Yeah, you've got a point. I suppose you got to look at the way that they've defended that set piece. I mean, I kind of want De Gea to do more, but we know De Gea is not a goalkeeper who comes out and commands his box. He pretty much stays on his line, which adds unnecessary pressure to your defenders, because it means your defenders have to kind of do the clearing inside where you would expect. I've been brought up on goalkeepers like Peter Schmeichel, David Seaman, who come out, command your box from crosses, from corners, and your defenders can then react accordingly. However, when you've got someone like De Gea who stays on his line, it means that your attackers can get further closer to your goal. Okay, it means also your defenders are closer. You've got bodies around the 6-yard box, the goal line, and that's what's happened here. And yes, Maguire's missed it. Yes, Maguire hasn't done it, but De Gea still has to do better. He has to be authority in that box. It's his box. It's his area. It's my ball. Why coming out for it? Why aren't you doing that? And and that is why he's never been one of the best goalkeepers in the world for me. Yeah, he makes.
He's not a world-class goalkeeper. I've been saying this for a long time, and people are like, oh yeah, but look how many clean sheets he's kept. Yeah, he's very good shot stopping, but he doesn't know what to do in terms of owning his area. That's your domain. That's all you. You shouldn't be fapping about. You shouldn't punch it, or he makes a couple of decent TV saves, and we're all like, oh yeah, that's what De Gea is about. He's world class. You watch it again, it's like, mate, you could have caught that. So yeah, I don't buy it.
I will say this, right? Let's not go overboard here. This is only the second game since Bruno Fernandes has come in. In fact, Man United's form this year, if you're going by this year, is very, very good. Okay, so let's not go overboard the fact that they've drawn this game at home to Southampton. Yes, you'd expect them to win. However, if you look at the overall picture, Man United are going in the right direction. Okay, they are probably going to qualify for Champions League football. It's just, unfortunately, this result has come at the wrong time for them in terms of not capitalising on other teams' poor results around them. But yeah, I wouldn't start ripping up the whole thing and just blowing it up and going again. They just need to make a couple of, I think, just 1 or 2 additions, and Man United are going to be right there next season, I think, alongside Liverpool, Man City.
One team that can potentially capitalise on issues at the top there is Wolves, and they've got Burnley away tonight. That's at 6:00. Wolves picked up a really important win against Everton at the weekend, and Burnley are just so weird. Burnley will either win this game 1-0 or lose this game 3-0. We don't know which Burnley side are going to show up, but on paper, this has got to be a Wolves win. And that could put the cat amongst the pigeons. This game is actually on BBC tonight as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, also you think about it on paper, Burnley probably don't really have much to play for. I know that they're 3 or 4, maybe 5 points off the European positions. But with only 3 games left, that's a bit too much of a gap to try and overcome. Okay.
Yeah, Burnley are in 10th on 50 points. Wolves are in 6th on 55. 7th place could be a European spot. So that is open at the moment for Sheffield United, Spurs, Arsenal, Burnley, because there's only 4 points between those.
Yeah, so looking at it this way, Burnley don't really have much to play for. Wolves have more to play for. You would expect Wolves would be the more not looking towards the end of the season. They're looking to try and push on. So I kind of feel like this is a tough one to call still, though.
Well, this is
Because
going to 0-0 from the boy Arnold via Periscope. He reckons 0-0. Lump it on.
Okay, well, bet responsibly, but we'll come back to that comment. We can start calling him the tipster, the boy Arnold, if he gets it right. But personally, I'm going to sit on the fence on this one and say this is too tough for me to call.
Wonderful. Cheers for that.
Yeah.
I haven't put my prediction in. I'm going to go 2-0 Wolves. I'm going to go 2-0 Wolves. Go brave. Go hard or go home, as they say. Man City versus Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth picked up the most shocking result of the weekend, but there's no way they could go to Man City and get a result. Surely.
Well, you say that surely, but you've got to think Man City have got the FA Cup semi-final over the weekend, right? So I can imagine that they're going to be, considering that they can't finish in any other position other than second now. So, and they can still, win the FA Cup. Obviously, some silverware. So
yeah,
I'm
looking
to see Man City's squad being used to its full capacity here. I would be shocked and disappointed if Phil Foden doesn't play today, doesn't start.
I won't be. I want to see Phil Foden start at the weekend in the FA Cup. That's what I want to see.
So, yeah, I mean, he should be, but he won't do. I certainly won't imagine that he would. But to be fair, even a rotated Man City team should beat Bournemouth quite comfortably. I think 2 or 3-0 here, Man City. But it wouldn't surprise me if Bournemouth did something because Man City's, as I say, their focus is elsewhere.
Another tip there from the boy Arnold. That's my pal Phil over in Doobs, by the way. Man City 3-0. Foden, David Silva, and Mahrez. Interesting. I'm intrigued to see how that game will go. That game is live on Sky Sports, and also at 6 p.m. This is also live on Sky. Is this one live on Sky Sports? No, this was on BT Sport, and that is Newcastle versus Tottenham. Now, do you want to hear something interesting?
Yes.
Jose Mourinho has never beaten Newcastle. Yes, exactly that. Wow. Jose Mourinho has never beaten Newcastle United. So this means it's going to be a 2-0 Spurs win tonight, surely.
Well, they should be confident. They should be riding high after they're winning the league on Sunday.
Yes.
And
do you reckon Newcastle will give him a guard of honour?
They might do, actually. I've got a feeling they might just and every team who play them now to the end of the season should give Spurs a guard of honour now.
Yeah, I agree.
But I fancy Newcastle this one.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I think Spurs' away form hasn't been great. Newcastle, I know they kind of got slapped in their last game. But I feel like Newcastle will want to bounce back, and look for a Alan St. Maximin masterclass, and queuing all the memes up in Twitter and everything.
Mate, I do like him, to be fair. I do like him. Where are we going with this? One apiece. Big Phil says 1 apiece on that one. I am also going for a draw. I think it might be 2 apiece, and I just want to laugh when Joe Linton bags, and I want it to be one off his shin, one of those ones, and then all the Newcastle fans go, "There you go. There's your 45 million. That's what we bought him for. Brilliant." And then Arsenal versus. Here's a comment from Stu Allen. There we go. You're not bitter then, lads. No, it's just hilarious. Your fans are a joke, including yourself, just Stu. Nah, you're all right, Stu. To be fair, I'll let you off.
Yeah,
you're one of the better ones. Arsenal versus Liverpool. That's live on Sky Sports. I've put kickoff 6 p.m. It's not. It's 8:15 that game, and that is live on Sky Sports. I'll tell you what. Why don't we edit that so therefore people don't get the wrong idea and be like, "Oh, we thought Arsenal were kicking off at 6:15." No, they're not. It's 8:15. So this, Liverpool, they need to win out in order to get their 100 points. So I can see them going strong here.
Liverpool win this game. I don't think there's too much. I think there's too much doubt about that. Mesut Ozil's now trying to cause a little bit of friction, tweeting or putting on his Instagram saying that he's ready.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's great. Be ready, pal. Be ready, pal. We don't want you.
Yeah, he can stay ready because he's clear he doesn't want to. Arteta doesn't want to play. Doesn't want him to play because
he's pretty fit.
He only wants players to play who want to play for Arsenal and who are going to actually try and put in 100% every game. And Mesut Ozil just doesn't do that. And I was just having this conversation with Martin before we came on the air. I will maintain until he leaves the club, Mesut Ozil is Arsenal's biggest problem because of the amount of wages that he's being paid. We're not getting what those wages are supposed to be paying for, and it's just a drain on the resources, which means that elsewhere you can't spend that money on a new player or offer Aubameyang more for a contract extension or whatever it may be. Until Mesut Ozil is left and out of the club, he's going to be the biggest issue for Arsenal.
Yeah, what are you saying the scoreline is going to be?
3-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, I thought 3-1 this morning as well. Tipster Phil has gone 2-0 Liverpool, and a bit of a giggle there with two Mustafi Oggies. I don't think it'd be that bad, surely. That's all of Wednesday's games. That's today, if you're watching it today, and yesterday, if you're watching it tomorrow. On Thursday, we have a number of fixtures as well. We've got 4 fixtures on Thursday. We have Everton versus Aston Villa. Now, this is an interesting one. This really is an interesting one because
this is
Aston Villa. You know, they got a really important victory at the weekend, and they will be buoyed off the back of that. And Everton, they need to. I think we alluded to it on a weekend show that Everton really need to walk away from this 4-4-2 mentality, and not just that mentality that when you're losing, let's just put on 5 attacking players to make it a 4-1-5, because they do that way too often. So they need to go down the 4-2-3-1 route. They need to utilise wing play. They need Bernard on one side and put Richarlison on the right hand side, and then in behind play Sigurdsson where he's meant to be. He is a support striker, number 10, Tracatista, whatever you want to call it. He plays in behind a striker. That's exactly what he does. For him playing in centre midfield alongside Tom Davies just doesn't work. And I don't understand why they can't see that.
I think this one is all about Aston Villa. If Aston Villa play well for me here, they will win this game, I think. And in order for them to play well, Jack Grealish is going to have to be the man that drives them forward.
He has to be instrumental, isn't he?
He's going to have to be instrumental because Villa's the weak part about Aston Villa more than anything is that their strikers are hopeless. All of them. They haven't got a decent striker amongst them. And
they spent big money on Samatta, big money on Wesley. Yeah. Wesley's obviously out for the season, but he's terrible anyway.
Yeah, and Samatta just seems like another version of him. So Aston Villa play well. Hopefully they're buoyed by the confidence they got from the last game. And the football teams always take the previous results in with them into the next game. Okay, so Aston Villa won. Everton lost, I think, didn't they? I think they lost their previous game. Yeah, so it is a recipe there for Aston Villa to actually try and spring a surprise on Everton. Look for them to start strong. So I think whoever gets the first goal in this one will actually be crucial, to be honest with you. So, but I'm actually going to go at Aston Villa on this one. I think Villa will actually pull out the bag.
Okay, well, Everton, they're currently 11th in the table. They're on 45 points. They can't go up, they can't go down. But I think they might have an element of pride knocking around as well. So they don't want to finish as low as 14th, because Crystal Palace are currently in 14th place on 42 points. So they don't want to finish in 14th place. I think even though they can't get to Europe or anything, it would be regarded as a failure.
it should be professional pride, no matter when you come out and you perform on the pitch. You should always be your hardest. But we're human at the end of the day. It is naturally for you just to drop off a couple of percent when there's nothing for you at all that you can gain from it. So I'm looking to Aston Villa to win that game. I think they will do it.
Mr. Arnold's gone with a 2-1 Everton win. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a brace and Jack Grealish on the score sheet as well. Leicester, it's their time to bounce back. Leicester versus Sheffield United. This is not the game that you want when you're trying to bounce back off an embarrassing defeat.
No, not at all. Sheffield United are banging form now, aren't they? They've since that FA Cup loss to Arsenal, they haven't lost a game.
They've got over their blip.
They did indeed. They beat Wolves with the last minute goal. They beat Spurs comfortably, and I think they drew another game as well. So they're certainly banging form. They're back.
They beat Chelsea, didn't they?
They beat Chelsea as well. Yes, of course. So there you go. They're coming into this game full of confidence, and Leicester. Well, they're going to be without Soyuncu for a start because he's suspended.
Yeah, okay, he's out to the end of the season now, isn't he? That will carry a 3-match ban, so he's not going to be playing again until next season.
And you saw how they defended when they were put under pressure. They just capitulated. So we've both said that Brendan Rodgers is a good manager when things are going well. But when things aren't going so well, he doesn't seem to be able to turn that tide around or get a different tune out of his players to then try and obviously stop that bad run of results happening. So I fancy Sheffield United in this game.
Yeah, I'm going Sheffield United as well. Sheffield United they're so regimented. I love how rigid they are, which is weird because I like free-flowing football, but Sheffield United have changed the mentality on how to be rigid, and it works with them. They're in a unit. One goes up on because they play three at the back, don't they? What if one full back goes forward, the other one wing back, I should say, the other one will sit deep and make a 4, and they just sort of mirror it as they going up and defending. I think it's brilliant how they do it, and that will cause a struggle with Leicester today. Tomorrow, I should say. I'm going a tight one, but it would be a 1-0 win for Sheffield United for me.
I think I probably agree with that. It's going to be interesting for Sheffield United looking ahead. If we look past the season, how they manage to cope with teams adapting to the way they play next season. I mean, it's all well and good, obviously, doing it for this season, but this next season will be a big test of Chrissy Wilder's managerial skills when he realises that he's going to come up against teams who understand the way that they play. Because let's be honest, again, the players are not really of the highest quality as Sheffield United. You'd look at it on paper and think, okay, well, they're certainly one of the bottom 5 or 6 sides in the Premier League, but because of their collective work rate, they bought into what Chrissy Wilder has given them. We've said it numerous times, haven't we, that they've all bought in. So when teams have got how you play, can you then adapt to that? So it'll be interesting to see what Sheffield United do next season. But that doesn't take away anything.
Plan B, doesn't he? Just in case. Needs a plan B just in case, doesn't he?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Also tomorrow, 8:15 in the eve, Southampton versus Brighton. Before we carry on, I just want to just lob out there something that an Arsenal fan and a Spurs fan agree on. Wilder, manager of the year. Why the hell not? Give it to him. He deserves it. That team should be relegated. I'm sorry, but they're pushing on the door of Europe. So for that alone, he deserves manager of the year. But then another shout for the manager of the year is Hasenhüttl. We mentioned Southampton already today. Yes. Southampton versus Brighton. Now, Southampton's away form, we mentioned earlier on in the show, is what has been carrying them forwards. But they'll look at that Man United game and think, yes, let's go slap Brighton up. And Brighton, they were sort of dragged back in it, but they're fine now. I would say I can't see Brighton dropping 5 points. Bournemouth amassing 5 points in the next 3 games, and have West Ham win out and Watford win out. Well, they can't both win out, but if they draw the next game and then win their final games of the season, and then Bournemouth win both of their games, that's Brighton are sound. They're okay. They'll be staying up.
Yes, they will be staying up. This game's on Thursday, isn't it?
This is Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry. Just you might need to do a little bit of editing again on the.
Oh, for the love of Jesus! Yes, it says Wednesday. It says Wednesday on the screen. It is definitely Thursday.
Southampton win for this one for me. Hasenhüttl's he's done another good job, because again, equally like Sheffield United, I do not think that Southampton's squad is actually that any good. They've got a good striker in Danny Ings, and James Ward-Prowse. I think he is a Premier League player. I think he's a pretty decent one at that as well. Nathan Redmond,
I remember his debut actually. James Ward-Prowse. He scored on his debut against Man City away from home, and we were like, hold on a minute. This guy's all right. It's when they first got back into the Prem. City won that game in the end. But he's good. He's a good young player. He's still young to me. He's 24.
Just like Nathan Redmond's young at 26.
Man, I still can't believe Nathan Redmond is so young. Honestly, I literally thought he was coming out to retirement.
But other than those, I don't think Southampton have got much quality. But again, Hasenhüttl's built a side that's greater than the sum of its parts. So, and he's been rewarded with well, let's hope Southampton don't regret it. An Alan Pardew type contract for Hasenhüttl, but what it probably does mean is if he does get poached, they're going to get a large compensation paid to them for that. So, I mean, I suppose that's a plus there. But I fancy Southampton this one. To be honest with you, I think they will win a game at home, which has been a rare occurrence for them this season.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you a lot today. I like to go against you just to mix it up a little bit, but I can't disagree with you at all today on Frere, not at all. And then the final game that we'll be talking about is Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. Connor Osborn, I'll be coming back to you in a moment about the Arsenal-Liverpool score. But yeah, Palace don't score goals. Manchester United do. It's a 3, maybe a 4-0 win for Manchester United on Thursday night, which will be live on BT Sport.
Yeah, I would try and go against you here, but no, Man United win all day long. 2-0 for me. But I think Bruno Fernandes will carry on his good form and score. I think he'll score on Thursday.
I think the only way Palace are going to bag is if they get a free kick on 25 yards out and Milivojevic has it. That's the only, or a penalty, and Milivojevic will take that as well. I can't see Zaha turning it on. It'll be in the back pocket of Wan-Bissaka all game. Luke Shaw looks like he's going to be out. Brandon Williams looks like he's going to be out. So there could be a little bit of change at left back. I'm not quite sure who they'll probably put there. They might change the system. Well, it's just all plain to see at the moment. But I can't see past Manchester United at all. Really can't.
The Aaron Wan-Bissaka derby.
The Aaron Wan-Bissaka derby. Yeah, I love it. The Wilf Zaha derby.
The Wilf Zaha derby. Yeah.
There you go. You know, here, there, and everywhere. These are right. So Connor has asked a prediction for.
Hello, brother.
Oh, hello there. For the Arsenal-Liverpool score, look, major gooner. Let's be honest, it's going to be 3-0. Look, Arsenal haven't beaten Liverpool in their last 9 games. The last time Arsenal picked up a victory against Liverpool at home was in 2015. When Bellerin scored that really nice goal with cut inside and that dig. 4-1 win that was that day. But that was when Arsenal weren't too bad. And Arsenal are now really bad. So I can't see how Liverpool will not get a result today. So, 3-1 Liverpool I went with.
Yeah, same. I said exactly the same.
There you go. Right then, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, our YouTube channel is going across there at Two Up Top Football. We're available to watch now on not just YouTube, but on Twitch and on Periscope and on Facebook, as well as YouTube. But we want people to start subscribing to the YouTube channel, and there's going to be a couple of competitions and incentives knocking around there very soon to try and get you guys to get involved in that. That'll be all available on our Facebook page. We use the Facebook page and the Twitter page for a bit of info and insight, and then everything else is to look at our handsome faces. And did you know?
Exactly.
Did you know? If you put Two Up Top on Google,
do we come up first?
We come up first.
We come up first. Can I also just say, did you know, right, that we reached an important milestone within the last week?
Yes, I did. Over 1,000 followers on the Two Up Top Facebook page, which is brilliant. And thank you everybody so much for your continued support. And with all your support, it just allows us to add new things and do other bits and bobs. So that input is allowing us to change our graphics around.
One of those inputs
was you guys in.
Was that brilliant interview you did yesterday with Ged? Is it Ged?
Yeah, Ged Searson,
Ged Searson.
Former Leyton Orient, Grimsby and West Ham United scout, and is very, very well connected in the football world. It's really good. It's really good interview to watch.
Great insight to that side of football that I don't think is highlighted quite often in the media. You don't really ever get scouts speaking on radio or recruitment being talked about. So it was great just to hear that side of football being shared with the people. And for those that didn't see the video live yesterday, you can go back on our YouTube channel and it's there for you to watch. So please, if you are interested in finding out how scouting in football goes and what Ged is doing now and how you can potentially even start that route, please go back and watch our video yesterday with Gav's brilliant interview that he did with Ged, because I was watching it and I stayed fascinated and glued to it for was it an hour and 20 minutes, and it was a great insight.
It's just so informative. But yeah, on that video, there is information on how you can become a scout. So if you are interested in doing it, you need to make sure you speak to Ged, and when you do, he's very responsive as well. If you contact him on LinkedIn, he will respond to every single message on there. He's also available on Facebook with the S4 Football Recruitment page, and that will be information on that on our page. So yeah, just be in contact, and if you do book onto a course, just let him know that you found out the information from us at Two at Top. That'd be wonderful. But from myself and Alex, I think that is all. So enjoy your days, and we will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. for the top fives. Thank you, and ta-ra.